And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the quarterfinals of the Sparkling Tuna Cup. We just wrapped up the round 16, and now we're here with the round of 8. Shameless, he just took down Signia 2-0, and now we're going to be following Shameless into the quarterfinals. It's going to be a ZvP. Let's jump on in. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Washouts, we have the blue Zerg player, himself, representing his new team on side. It is SHIN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player representing Stony Balls. It is Shameless. Let's go. Let us go. We're here, we're back, we're live. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is time for the Gamba. Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as you can predict on who you think will claim the series and who you think will advance on. Coming into this, of course, SHIN is going to be favored, but Shameless has been, of course, improving heavily over the past 2 years, has been growing in skill, and we have seen him take it to some of these top players before. Of course, we are on the new patch, and that does, of course, impact and influence things as well. I'm curious to see how Shameless will be approaching said patch. We have been seeing a lot of players kind of experiment. We saw a lot of experimentation during Home Story Cup, I will say, and likewise, I will say that the Korean scene has been embracing a lot of Sky Toss against Zerg, a lot of mass Void Ray, a lot of Mothership rushes, things of that nature. Curious to see how Shameless will approach it. Will he go for a Twilight Council based all-in, or rush into Sky Toss, or do something different? We're here to find out. Meanwhile, before I get ahead of myself, a big shout out to AO Doctor, gracias, AOD. Gracias, baby, gracias. Thank you so much for subscribing with a tier 1 sub. Thank you. Do appreciate the support. Hope you enjoy the content, the casting of the StarCraft. Hope you enjoy. Bienvenidos. As again, we are here in our first series. Coming into this, welcome to Washouts. Washout is an interesting map in the map pool. This map, of course, does feature some hybrid bases. We have our hybrid bases here on the south and north side of the map. These are expansions that do provide some excess resources, excess minerals, specifically, but can also be abused by these cooling towers. I'll be honest though, we don't often get to experience these bases. This is for like mid to late game play, and often the game does end around the mid game on washouts. So you've yet to really experience these bases be too impactful, or the cooling towers be too impactful either. Bienvenidos. So we are greeting each other, checking each other's bases. The spray, papi, the spray. As it is Hatchgas pool again, SHIN was forced to take the unnatural natural. Otherwise, Shameless is going to be opening up at Zealot first. I assumed it was the Hatchgas pool here, but Shameless just playing a little bit safe, going for his earlier Zealot just to make sure he is secure before building up into our tech of choice. Based on our pylon placement, it looks like a Stargate opener. Usually, if you go for a Twilight Council or a Robo or some kind of hidden tech, you want to throw in the pylon further behind your main base mineral line. To have it as exposed as it is typically means Stargate. There it is, Stargate, it's on the way. Now with this, we can open up Void Ray or Oracle. I was alluding to Sky Toss earlier and alluding to Void Ray based openers and Void Ray based play. So that is something that we've been seeing a lot of as of late. So we'll see if Shameless does embrace that newer mass Void Ray style, or if we go back into Oracle, into a third, into something more pre-patch. That's all the links. Jesus. As Airlord does poke in, SHIN, he will confirm the Stargate opener. And we do have a massive amount of lings on the way, by the way, a surprising amount. Yeah, SHIN making 10 extra lings, he's moving out across the map, but link speed is almost done, and so far the wall is open. But it's going to close up. Did I speak to... Oh god, the wall is kind of closed, but no, not really. The Zealot, no, hero! Yeah, the wall is not a wall. The wall is not a wall, the opening is open. Zealot's out of position, pylon goes down, depowers everything, delaying warp gates, delaying any kind of warp ins. Zealots take Zealots. Zerglings get best into the mineral line. It's too much, it's just getting out of hand here. The Oracle will help defend. But this is critical damage as we dive into the middle. Oh, no, it's around! The Stalker! Oh my god, Stalker does pull away. The Oracle still getting some free damage. Lings, they're going for the pylon, they're going for the production. And what do we find? Do we still kill the base? Wow, the natural. Yeah, the natural's gonna go down. SHIN is just link flooding. He's just link footing, and again, unfortunately, the Zealot was just out of position. There was a Zealot, remember, but it was just out of position. The door was wide open. The wall was not a wall, Bappy. It was not. Stalker goes down. Down goes the gateway, the cyber core, the nexus, the everything. And before we could even get into the game, GG gets called, and SHIN, he will take game number 1. GG. AOD. Oh, there you go. GG, well played, and with that, congratulations here to SHIN. Does take the first game. Again, just going for a bit of a random link flood here, and Shameless had the tools to defend, but he was out of position. Shameless was out of position, the Zealot was too far to the right, was not actually plugging up that hole, that door, and as a result, links just flood into the bases. GG, well played. Sorry, I was even caught off guard by just the amount of damage that was being done. Like, I was like, oh no. GG, well played. With that, SHIN, he will take a lead in this series. A little bit of a blunder here from Shameless, and hopefully we can tighten up our early game and tighten up our defense and make it into the mid game. Hopefully we can get there. As we are loading into game number 2. Okay, AOD. Meanwhile, we do have some results and some updates, and we'll be getting into that after this series, of course, but the rest of the bracket is also progressing, is underway. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of At Attorney's Edge, we have the blue Zerg player. We have the South Korean Zerg representing onside. It is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player representing Stalnibles. It is Shameless. Let's go. Let us go. And again, unfortunately, we just didn't really get to sink our teeth into the game number 1. It just came down to a link flood. Shameless out of position. The wall was wide open, and we just flooded on in. That was game. That was game then and there. So again, we're expecting Shameless to be a little bit more on top of that early game defense and of that SimCity. We're assuming that he's going to be able to tighten that up and delve into that mid game. Talking about game number 1, it was an Oracle opener, not a Void Ray, so it was Stargate into Oracle. We didn't get to see what else was planned, unfortunately, but we saw that was at least the opener of choice. We'll see if Shameless does divert back into that to actually get into his build and get into what he wanted to show us in game 1. We'll see. We shall see. Otherwise, we do once again force the unnatural natural. SHIN forced to expand at the 3rd location. Shameless will confirm. Just disrupting the early game here from SHIN. Just had small disruption. And now we can settle in. I'm sorry. That's how sad. We'll lock in, man. We'll lock in. We're going to be settling on in from here. Again, just a hatching pool. Nothing crazy out of SHIN. Probe does confirm as well that there's no early pool timing. There's no shenanigans going on. Not yet, at least. Hopefully, I mean, especially on this map, there's a bit of a difference here. There's a Zelnaga tower in the center. So if there were to be a massive flood across the map, there's a higher chance that Shameless will be fighting for control of the Zelnaga tower, and we'll see it coming ahead of time. Higher chance. And again, I'm sure, especially after game 1, Shameless is going to be a little more attentive at scouting and checking what's going on and keeping eyes on SHIN. Period. There's that Earthly Zealots. Does make the Earthly Zealots. Once again, pile on further out. So we're expecting another Stargate opener. Link speed is on the way. SHIN pulls out of gas. So far, so good. Pulling out. From here, SHIN can start to drone, saturate. Shameless trying to see if there's any kind of excess Ling production this early on, but this early on that shouldn't be. Even last game. And there it is, Stargate. So Stargate open out of Shameless. At the same time, SHIN does slip in, slips in with those 2 Zerglings, and will actually confirm the tech of choice, confirms the Stargate. So nice scouting here from SHIN. Again, he does confirm. And was able to catch a probe. Just the one so far, but again, so far, scouting. And ideally wants to confirm whether it's going to be a Void Ray or an Oracle. I guess technically even a Phoenix, but it's quite rare. Just keeping tabs on Shameless. We do have a handful of links on the way, but this should just be for Adept Defense. There's no crazy link surge this time. SHIN is droning. SHIN is droning, saturating, focusing on that economy. It is going to be the Oracle first here out of Shameless, not Void Ray. Go for the Oracle. And from here we can just calm down. We can settle in. Third base not being taken. And this is again looking very pre-patch. Again, going Cybercore, so gate expanded to Cybercore to Stargate, Oracle to third base, into Forge and Twilight Council to +1 and Blink. Like, are we just gonna, okay? Okay. We're heading in that direction. We'll see if that's the case. Meanwhile, speaking of last patch, oh, okay, there we go. Early Twilight Council, a much earlier Twilight Council here by Shameless. This does give access to potentially even early Glaives and going to an earlier Blink all-in as well. Eyes are on our tech of choice. Meanwhile, SHIN going early Eva Chamber into +1 melee. Standard. Ling speed, sorry, +1 melee, Ling into Ling Hydra. Should be the tech of choice. Usually early Eva Chamber screens +1 melee, and that also means that you're going to be skipping your Roach Warren and your Bailey Nest. Usually, that is the case. See if that does unfold. 3 more gates being thrown down back at home. That's going to be a 4-gate setup, sorry, a 5-gate setup in total. And it is going to be Blink. So early Blink here from Shameless. Early Blink, no Forge, no +1. It will allow for earlier aggression, and this may even lead into a 3-base all-in. Something that we have seen as of late is, oh Jesus, is 3-base 8-gate all-ins at a Protoss be even stronger. Oh, as we do have a bit of a pause.
Game paused.
Do have a bit of a pause. Hopefully everything's okay. But talking about the build itself, going for an 8-gate all-in is stronger here. I mean, stronger in a sense because of the proxy pylon. Proxy pylons, getting pylons and reinforcements up and running is so much faster because of the fast warp ins, because you no longer need a gateway across the map. This does hit very hard, and I'm not leaving that, and so far I'm leaving the door open for the potential of that. We still need extra gateways to confirm whether or not it's going to be an all-in. If Shameless takes gases at the third base, that would be a sign that we're taking up further, and we're working towards Storm and getting to the mid game. Right now, eyes are open for extra gateways. So far, it is 5. We're waiting for like up to 7, up to 8 gates. So we'll see. We'll see how aggressive and how committed Shameless is going to be with this. But hopefully everything's okay with the mice, with the peripherals. Hopefully. Otherwise, again, I hope you've been enjoying yourselves. I will say that, again, this can work a little bit better here just because SHIN is cutting corners, right? He's cutting corners, he's skipping roaches, he's going straight, which should be into Ling Hydra. Technically, we have seen some builds as of late go straight Ling, like Muta. Like, we have seen some greedier builds do that. Typically, you see Muta play alongside roaches, but we have seen some players cut some corners and try to go straight into Muta play instead. It is quite risky to do so, but again, SHIN, he's up in the series, so he might feel like he could get away by taking that risk. Could feel like he could get away with it. Otherwise, we're just hoping that everything's okay. And look after your mice, Pappy. True. Look after them. I have worn down mice to the point where, like, I don't know, they're double clicking or double clicking is usually what happens for me. It's just or sometimes the sensors like they die out and they become like less responsive. So like you can move your mouse and like the cursor just kind of like sometimes stagnates, sometimes moves. Like, can be frustrating. So hopefully everything's okay. As we are getting back into our game. Let's go. Let's go. There it is. Oh, two more gates. So if you remember, what was our goal? We were waiting to see if extra gateways were thrown down. We have 2 more gateways. That's going to be a 7-gate all-in. Now an 8-gate all-in. So 3 base 8-gate all-in out of Shameless. It's all or nothing. One way or another, the game is about to end. And Shameless will have to, as he moves out across the map, set up those proxy pylons to reinforce. And again, they finish up so much faster. And they come online that much harder or faster as well. The all-in does hit harder. SHIN, he's going Ling Bane, so he's going for the Baliness response. I mean, he doesn't know what's going on. He's going to Ling Bane just to be safe. This does keep you safe against Glaive Adepts, for example, or against Charge, but against Mass Wing Stalker, this is less effective. So it's all lining up, and we'll see if Shameless can pull this off. Can he do it, Babby? Can he do it? There's that Hydrogen on the way. Again, as Hydras amass up, then SHIN will outscale Shameless. So the longer this goes on, the better it is for SHIN. Better economy, eventually a better army as well. So Shameless is on a timer. Shameless is on a timer. Ooh, Overseer, what did we see? Checking the vision here, SHIN, he is checking gases. So he didn't see all the gateways, but oh no, he checks, and he confirms no gas. He confirms no gas here on the right-hand side. Links are amassing. We do have our Hydra upgrades now on the way. And SHIN is going to cut workers at 70. He's cutting workers at the same time. Does go for a big counterattack. Here comes Shameless. Here comes the all-in. And do we have a proxy pylon? No, pylon is setting up, actually. Yeah, it looks like there's one. There we go. Probe is coming. Base is going down. SHIN ready for the backstab. And that 5th base is going to be denied. We're pushing deep onto creep. Things are engaging. So finally 2 Hydras. Only 2 Hydras. Bailing's saying, ooh, bust into the mineral line. A battery goes down. 4 probe kills. And SHIN, he does pop off. Yeah, he pops off. Another Bailing going to be waddling in as well. That mineral line is going to go down. At the same time, though, SHIN is running out of links back at home. The Hydras are exposed. The Hydras are going down. The Queens as well. Remember, because SHIN went for the counterattack, that meant that back at home, he had less buffer. He had less support, and the all-in is snowballing out of control. Shameless, he's doing it. The boys are being pulled. Desperation out of SHIN. But the all-in does hit. It does snowball out of control. Breaks through the main army. The boys are helping. We do have 4 Hydras now popping out. Getting up to 5 Hydras. 6. Yeah, 6 Hydras are out. But again, there's no support for them. There's some Zerglings, but not that many. Shameless, he's close. Yeah, he's so close to breaking through. Does kite back. Nice blinks. Nice control. As we're now getting into 6 Hydras. But it should not be enough. Yeah, it should not be enough. Shameless has done it. Dives on the main army. GG gets called, and we are going to the ace match. GG. Whew. And GG, well played. Again, the stars were aligning. As we mentioned, a Ling Bane defense is much more difficult to pull off with compared to a Ling Roach defense. There was no Roach Warren. Instead, SHIN was cutting some corners. But it wasn't just that. That counterattack from SHIN, yes, he killed some probes. But as we were trying to mention, this meant that there was less at home to buffer and support the Hydras and support the Queens. And because of that, the backbone of the army crumbled real fast for SHIN. Crumbled very quickly. If we have those links back at home, it isn't about winning the fight, it's about buying time to accumulate a larger force of Hydras, and then you get out of hand. Once you can build up and sustain like up to 6, 7, up to 10 Hydras, then you have a much stronger backbone. You have Lings funneling in or trickling in as you're reinforcing with Zerglings, and then you have your core army that builds up over time, and then you have that defense, and then you hold, then you snowball out of control. But again, there was no buffer for those Hydras or for the Queens, and with that, GG. With that, GG well played. With that, GG well played. We are getting into our next game. We're going to be getting into Rainfall, the ace match. Let's go. Now, what kind of Rainfall? Rainfall is the smallest map of the map pool, or one of the smallest maps. A very small map, short rush distance by ground. All ins are favored on this map. And do you know what Shameless just asked? He was like, Pappy, don't ape pull me. don't do it. And then SHIN did the crying face emoji. He's droning, to be fair, he's droning. As in the bottom right hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg being forced into a tied series. Can he bring it back? For onside, it is SHIN. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player representing Stallion Bulls. It is Shameless. Let's go. let us go. And again, Shin, he is straight up one of the best Zerg players in the world. He's, what, the best Zerg in Korea, if not top 2. But does drop a map here to his opponent, and can Shameless pull off the upset? Can he keep this going and claim the 2-1? Oh, the pressure's on. The pressure is now on Shin suddenly. But again, we're loading into a smaller map. Aggression's going to be more favorite here, and we'll see who's going to be the aggressor. Now, because this map is so small and because aggression is expected, there's a very high chance that Shin plays roaches. There's a very, very high chance that this time, instead of going for the fast Evo Chamber and the fast plus on melee, instead he goes for the Roach Warren into a Roach heavy mid-game instead, which is typically very safe. It's typically much, much safer. The downside, of course, is that it does mean that your mid-game is a little bit shakier, depending on what you're working towards. If you want to go into Hydra Tech, then you have to kind of like stumble your way there, because you're spending gas on Roaches, and you're going to have less gas for Hydra Tech, for example. But we'll see. We'll see how Shin will approach it. The other option, of course, is Muta play. I don't know if I like Mutas on Rainfall. It does feel quite risky, but if we do open Roach, then Muta play is also going to be an option. We'll see. We shall see. For now, hatch, gas, pool. Standard opener here from Shin. Likewise, Shameless back at home, just going for his own gate expand into Cybercore. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. For the most part, we're just waiting for a tech of choice on the side of Shameless, waiting for the tech of choice, whether it's going to be Stargate or Twilight Council. The pylon is a little bit closer to the chest here, but I still feel like it's going to be a Stargate-based opener, based on its positioning. We'll see. And again, we do not expect a standard game out of Shameless. No shot. I mean, what is standard now, right? Mass Void Ray? True, that's... So we have our tech of choice. It is going to be the Stargate. So once again, the Stargate opener. We're expecting Oracles, but again, we'll keep an eye open for a Void Ray based opener instead. Eyes are out for that. Shameless does pull away. And Shin is going for a much faster third this time. Okay. Yeah, much faster third. This time Shin was also able to take the natural. He was forced to expand elsewhere, so a much more comfortable early game from Shin as well. Much more comfortable. Link speed is on the way, pulls out of gas. Just slowly building up. Meanwhile, the Stargate is complete, and Shameless, it is going to be Oracle once again. So we're opening Oracle. From here, Shameless should take a third base, and then from that third, then we're looking for the tech timing. Remember, last game we saw the very fast Twilight Council, which tipped us off. So that there was going to be some aggressive build, aggressive tech. We were floating the idea of a Blink Stalker all in or Glaive Adepts. Went for the Stalker all in. Oh, okay, that's different. Stargate opener into a Robo before the third base into a Twilight Council. Now, if this was pre-patch, I would assume this was for an Archon drop. I would assume this was Robo Twilight Council into War Prism, into Templar Archives, into High Templar, into an Archon drop across the map. But from my understanding, this build, trying to go Archon drop, is much weaker in the current iteration of the game. Extra gateway is being thrown down, so this is going to be more committed. Is it delayed Archon drop? No shot. Or we're just going to like charge and just go for like a 2-base charge all in, which feels very weird. Like 2-base all ins feel odd to begin with. Yeah, look at that. Prison first. Where's the Templar Archives? Show us the archives. I'm going Templar Archives into... Yep, there it is. Templar Archives. It is an Archon drop. Okay, so it is going to be a delayed Archon drop out of Shameless. Now, the reason why we phrase this as delayed is because this isn't a Twilight Council opener, right? You can open Twilight Council into a Dark Shrine, into faster DTs and faster Archons. This is later after the Stargate. So yeah, this is a build that I haven't seen this patch. This was a common variation that we would see in the previous patch. From my understanding, Protoss players were abandoning this kind of build just because it takes so much more to afford all the warp gates and to afford the warp ins, especially because this is not an all-in. This is just designed to hunt down overlords and to kill some drones, but oh god no, the Cybercore. No shot. The Cybercore goes down. Oh no, thankfully the High Templar did warp in. Archons are coming. Remember, it's an Archon drop, but Lings, they do bust into the main base. Probes are going to be going down. This is getting out of hand already. 5 probes. Oh my god, this is too much. 6 probes going down. The Archon drop is coming, but these Archons, they have so much work to do. Killing Overlords is not good enough anymore. Now we have to kill some drones. We got to go for the mineral line. Prism moves in. SHIN is in position. Prism taking a lot of hits. So far. Oh! Prism is zoned away. Prism does take some hull damage, but does back off. Kills one queen, and I think one drone. No, not even. Just one queen. One queen going down. And you said I see... Oof, I see a German taxi. So Overlord speed is on the way. That'll be for Dropper Lords. The roaches are amassing. Roach speed is coming as well, and we'll be able to push with the queens and the roaches. So it is going to be an all-in from SHIN. His cutting works at 60, so it's going to be a 2.5 base all-in, under 3 base saturation. We just commit with everything. Remember, how did we begin this game? We spoke about how Rainfall favors aggression, and SHIN is going to be the aggressor. He's going all-in. Meanwhile, Shameless was trying to play macro. Remember, Archon's job is to try to gain map control and to slowly build up back at home, but the army's coming. The army's coming. As here comes a rally. The creep highway has been set up. Looks like, my apologies, we're not going for the drop. We're not going for the German taxi. We're just going for the creep highway. True. We're setting up the highway. The map is small enough that the queens are already here. The queens are already here. They're already across the map. Yeah, force fields are knocked down. We get some decent juggling, but there's just barely anything here. There's just no army. There's 2 Archons, 1 Immortal, there's a cannon. There's just nothing here. SHIN sort of steps in, breaks through the main army, gets into the mineral line. The juggling though. But GG, yeah, GG gets called. There's no defending against this. And SHIN, he will claim the series 2-1, advancing on into the semi-finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. SHIN, he will claim the series. Again, this build that Shameless went for is very out of meta nowadays, just because it's so expensive. Like, it hits very, very late, but also you have to warp in all the warp gates as well. So there's also that added cost that wasn't quite there earlier. So it's very, very committed, and especially going for a delayed Archon drop build on Rainfall, you're asking to be all-ins, right? Because this build, it means that your ground army is weaker. It's delayed. Like, you don't really have that much. You're so reliant on these Archons to buy time and keep your opponent busy. We saw that SHIN didn't give them any mind. Like, he zoned them away and then he just went for the all-in. The Archon drop was happening at the same time and SHIN just ignored it. He just went across the map. The map is small enough where you can afford to do that. GG. GG well played. SHIN didn't even need the German taxi. Didn't even need the taxis. He just walked. the queens, they just walked across. That was fine. GG well played. With that, congratulations here as SHIN does claim the series, and let's catch up on the bracket itself. Let's figure out where we are and where we are headed.